What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Elliott Delp.
Sparky.
Back again like he never left. And today we're going to be reviewing
This here plate carrier.
Which is?
LBAC from HRT.
Which stands for?
Load Bearing Adaptive Plate Carrier.
Wow.
I read.
Yeah, he read the need to know. So today we're going to be doing a review on the LBAC, which is, as Sparky had mentioned, the Load Bearing Adaptive Plate Carrier from HRT Tactical. And we have a ton of experience with HRT Tactical's gear. We've been running their stuff for quite some time now, between the H-Rack and then the rack, their Battle Belt series, and we've been really big fans of them. So when HRT reached out and asked us if we'd be interested in doing a review on the LBAC, we were like, sure. So that carries into kind of the transition piece on our relationship with HRT. They did send this out and provided it to the channel for us to review. There was no exchange of money or anything like that. So let's talk a little bit about the LBAC and what makes it special. But before we do, there is a small disclaimer that you should go follow us on Instagram. Please. There you can see all kinds of awesome photos. And then if you find this video helpful, useful, whatever it is, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really helps us out a lot. And then go leave a smart ass comment down below, because we'd love to hear it. And you know,
need a good laugh.
You need a good laugh sometimes, okay?
But where do I find the carrier?
Oh, that's right.
I'm glad you said that.
Shameless plug from Hunter. If you want to find the carrier and what's on the carrier, head on over to basementoperator.com. There's where you can find it. That we have all of our stuff over there, like our builds and our merchandise and, you know, cool stuff to support us here at, you know, our YouTube channel. So, ta-da! So the LBAC, Sparky, this thing is a top of the line plate carrier, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
MSRP, you're shooting that $400 to $500 range. Yeah. Which is, you know, pretty expensive for a plate carrier. You know, typically you're thinking like expensive plate carriers typically like $200 and some dollars. Yeah. So the LBAC's really highly priced, but I think there's a lot of awesome features and a lot of stuff that goes into it that contributes to that price point. When HRT was kind of developing this, the real need that they were trying to fix is, you know, comfortability while carrying heavy loads. They were speccing this thing out for people that were carrying a lot of ammunition, carrying breaching equipment, and, you know, just stuff that really will weigh down a plate carrier. Yeah. So when
guys that use it for their job.
Yeah, guys that use it for their job and that are having special equipment that they need to haul around, tote through, move through doors, whatever it may be, that really weighs on your body, especially with long periods of time and a lot of you know, use. With that, let's get right into what makes this plate carrier special, and that is the chassis system that is on this carrier. So Sparky, if you'll rotate for me and so I can point it all out this way. Armpit up. So as you can see here, the chassis system is started out with a cummerbund. So this cummerbund is reinforced, rotates around, and comes to the actual chassis. So we'll pop up B-roll here on the screen to kind of give you a better look, but this cummerbund bridges into the chassis system. The chassis system is a two-piece chassis system on the inside that is bridged with kind of nylon elastic bands, which help it breathe and contract as you're moving and using it and all that great stuff. And it all is kind of separate from the actual plates and backpack, and it just helps distribute the load a little bit. You can turn back around, Sparky. It just helps distribute the load a little bit better across the body, and it kind of just, you know, helps with comfortability. And I think having the two-piece system allows you to kind of move and breathe a little bit better.
It just gives you like an overall better fit.
Yeah.
Like and also, like, going back to the cummerbund, like, I'm not one who typically uses a cummerbund or likes them, but this one, if you were to add like whatever side, if you wanted to, you know, put in a side plate or run more mags right here, with that being a reinforced cummerbund, it holds the weight. Like other ones where it's just the strap, you put mags in there, it's just gonna flop around when you move. This one's actually gonna keep it to your body and be able to hold some weight
and then distribute the weight. Because like my cummerbund here, it's just nylon. I have the rack right now, and it's just nylon, and it's, you know, it doesn't have that reinforcing. Now it'll still hold the mags well, it'll still hold the extra plates well, but it doesn't bridge into the system kind of like Coleman's does here on his LBAC, and it's just not as load bearing, I guess. And hence the whole purpose of the LBAC, right? That's kind of the main, like, massive part of the LBAC is the chassis system and how it bridges and carries weight a little bit better. So we can start talking a little bit about the additional features of the LBAC. But before we do, I think it would be pretty cool to see some shooting in the LBAC. Wouldn't you agree,
Oh, yeah.
Sparky?
Oh, yeah.
So we have the BCM here, tried, true, tested firearm. We have a T2 on it, a Streamlight, a Strike Industries cord management, and a BCM gunfighter grip, and then of course the Edgar Sherman sling. So Sparky, I'm going to let you shoot this, but before we do shoot, we have to give a big shout out to one of the biggest supporters of the channel, True Shot. They supply all the 5.56 and stuff we shoot here on the channel. So big thank you to them. If you want to use code DELP, it'll save you like $10 on $300 worth of stuff, and if you're buying a lot of ammo, then it helps, you know. So big thank you to True Shot. If you want to check them out, head on over to basementoperator.com/links, and there you can find a link to True Shot. And then at True Shot, you can buy all kinds of plinking ammunition. They have literally everything. That's why we love them, because you know they always have stuff in stock and at a pretty good price. So big thank you to True Shot. Sparky, it's time.
That's right. Me get some Mirror Pro.
So this is just to demonstrate kind of how the plate carrier looks while it's being used and being shot. Take notice of, you know, stock placement, and because that's important when you're running carriers, especially with carriers with quick detach clips, kind of like
a little
these.
bit more serious buckles.
Yeah, more serious buckles, because it's harder to get up in there. You know, some people put their rifle on the carrier, some people put it on the shoulder, some people dig it like right there, like the boy Walsh did.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different ways people can shoot with a plate carrier. I'm sure somebody in the comment section will tell us that we're completely wrong, but it's really what you're comfortable with and how you can best put shots on target.
Yeah, it's like what's going to give you the most consistent result.
Exactly. And you know, everybody shoots a little bit differently. So let's start her out. We're going to do a bill drill, which is 6 shots. Sparky,
Yep.
Can you count to 6?
Not 5 and not 7, right?
Yeah, not 5, not 7. All right, is shooter ready?
Yep.
That's right. No way, those bullets. All right. Wow. First shot at 1:30. You did get 6.
I told you I'd count to 5 and not 7, so 6 should be easy, right?
Yeah. So initially, Sparky, how do you feel when it's shooting?
Like
Is
that?
it comfortable?
Initially, shouldering the weapon, I kind of halfway missed and it hit the top here.
Yeah.
But once you get it in there, once you know where it's going, this for me sits just low enough.
Yeah.
To where you're not like, which I tend to put the rifle kind of more centered. I don't really get it on the outside of my shoulder too much. So I kind of like the right there where it's not like farther out. So it's kind of riding that buckle, but
Kind of in the buckle.
it's kind of right in it, but it's not that big a deal. I feel like if you were shooting something more than 5.56, you'd probably notice it a little bit more. But to me, it's not that big a deal. Like right there, it's comfortable and it feels stable. And it's not going to be bouncing around a bunch.
I gotcha. Cool. So we're not going to check targets because Sparky can't shoot.
That's
so let's do a Mozambique, which is 2 and 2.
Right, 2
Hunter?
to the chest, 1 to the head.
2 and 1.
Yeah.
Ah, I'm retarded.
That's right.
All right. So you ready? Wow. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
It's consistent. And then I'm like, I don't feel like these quick detach buckles really get in the way.
No,
necessarily.
and when the stock hits it, do you feel like it's sliding a lot, or do you feel like it can just press in?
It just presses in. To me, like it doesn't feel like the stock's like moving around a bunch. Like if these were a little bit more rounded or smaller, I would feel like it would slip off. Because if it was like a real skinny buckle, it would just like how like on this one, how it's a little bit skinnier, it would probably bounce off.
Gotcha. Well,
But-
that's good.
Yeah, I like how flat they are.
That was you did get the Mozambique in 1.73 with your first shot at 1.29. Good job.
Not too shabby.
Not too shabby. All right, so clear her out, and let's get back to talking about the features. So a lot of awesome stuff about the HRT plate carriers are their modularity systems on them. So this is pretty universal with all of the HRT gear setup, as you can see here on mine, as well as Coleman's. They both run placard systems, which are, you know, very highly versatile. All you gotta do is pop them and drop them. And you can pretty much swap this one with this one, or, you know, however you want to do it. And this is pretty universal amongst all the HRT lineup, which is really nice because, you know, one of the things we like to do a lot is run, you know, shotguns. So we have a shotgun placard, or, you know, if like Coleman's here is a Maximus carrier, which I have for my A-Track, which is really nice. It offers a lot of versatility in terms of loadout. So you could do mags here on the side, or you can run like, I like to do lights and multi-tool.
Snickers.
Actually, perfect Snickers size pockets. I didn't even think about
Or
that.
you split up a Nutty Buddy.
So, I mean, it offers a lot of versatility. And then you also have these admin pouches here, which are really nice. So, like, you can have your knives or your batteries or your lube. Big shout out to Boar. They're another big supporter of the channel. This one was a little corny plug, but Boar's awesome. We use their lube, gun cleaning mats. They also have some pretty cool little kits that we have. So make sure to go check them out. You can find them at basementoperator.com/links as well. And then you can use our code Hunter, pop it up at the bottom. It'll save you 15% off. So go check out Boar. Big thank you to them. They make some pretty awesome lube and gun cleaning stuff. So
Made in USA, baby.
oh yeah. So thank you, Boar. And then in his other pouch here, he has a light and some Sharpies because you got to be able to mark your misses.
That's right.
The Maximus placard system is really nice. I like it a lot, and it's very functional. But the whole system and modularity with the HRT gear is really top of the line. And speaking of top of the line, I think that could bring us into their nylon, because HRT has some really awesome nylon. It's double stitched, box stitched, and then, you know, the quality of the nylon's super. It's water resistant, heat resistant. So I mean, it's really held up very well for us. It feels really high end. You know, I mean, you're paying a lot
for it.
You're paying a lot of money for these plate carriers. And you know, it's not some Chinese bull crap. You get some stuff off of like Amazon plate carriers that, you know, they're just,
you pull on it one time and, and the stitching starts ripping.
Exactly. Just like, I mean, we did a comparison video of it, and the nylon carrier for like 70 bucks. I literally opened it up and accidentally ripped some of the side piecing immediately after getting into it.
And that was normal use.
Yeah, it wasn't like we were running that one extra hard or anything. This is where you start running into $80 plates.
He done broke it.
I done broke it. I was trying to unvelcro it, and the stitching is already pulling off the side of it. So just one range day was able to actually rip out the stitching. So it's something to be said. You get what you pay for, and you know, with these carriers, and we've had the racks and the H-racks for years now, and they've held up great. And the nylon still feels really, really good. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, deteriorating or ripping, or stitching's not being pulled out, you know, as it's being used, being thrown into trucks. And
yeah, and that's one thing, actually, like, been using this one for the last few months. Like, I'm not scared to use it. Like, I'm not afraid to, you know, push it a little bit or beat it up. Like, I'm not worried about it because it can handle it.
Yeah, and it's just really, really well made. So moving on from that, let's talk a little bit about some of the quick detach features, because there's a lot of them.
Yes.
And actually, Sparky has some gripes about some of the features. So there'll be some cons in that. But you do have the two top quick detach buckles. They're kind of like the pull and releases, whereas mine here,
squeeze them. Mine's
just normal buckle. But Sparky's is a little bit different. Do you prefer that or a normal buckle system?
I'll be honest with you, for me, it's not something I'm
used to.
This isn't, well, all other plate carriers I've ever used just have buckles on both sides, which I thought was easier to operate, but it was also easier to accidentally open.
So these have pull tabs on them.
Yeah,
Can you pull either way?
Yeah, I think you just pull down on them. Just pull. So you can easily pull them down.
Yeah.
Which is nice because, like I said, the ones that are more like a buckle like that where you squeeze, you can accidentally hit that. Like, say, if you're pushing a gun and you could depress one side against your body and the other side with the stock of the gun.
Yep.
So this one, you can just slide them back on. This is not something for me that, like, make me buy this plate carrier. Like, it's not a feature I'm like, oh,
you're over the moon.
I'm like, oh, I have to have that. Well, yeah, it's nice if, you know, Lord forbid something happened and I have to get out of this really quickly. Yeah. Then, yeah, it's nice. But it's not a feature that, for me, doing what I do, where I'm like, oh, I have to have that in the plate carrier. But it is nice.
And then on that same note, the cummerbund quick detachments. We were actually talking about these earlier. You had a pretty big gripe.
It's just different, because, like I said, I'm used to just I'm not used to having a cummerbund, number one. I'm used to just having straps where I just click it in and I'm ready to go. So it's a piece of cake. This one, to get it off, you have there's that reinforced plastic you was talking about earlier. But to put this on, you gotta thread that guy in. There's this little slot here for it.
Also, just to caveat that, I use plastic loosely. I'm not sure.
Carbon.
It looks like carbon fiber or something. Yeah. So just to caveat that. Yeah. Anyway, go on.
So it's got a little slot in here for the part of the cummerbund to go into. Well, now that you got that where it needs to be, you have to sit here and twist this. Unless I'm just really simple-minded, you have to sit there and line this guy up and push it. So it's a little bit more. It's a little bit.
Well, and you know, do mine. That's all it is. The cummerbund's already attached to the inside, so there's no like, you don't have to slip that back in.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier.
It's got a couple extra steps, and you got to hold your mouth just right to get used to it. But it's different coming from just simple buckles. But
not running a cummerbund at all.
Exactly. Now, but with this one, that being said, this feels much sturdier. Like this feels like I'm not like this feels how it should. Like it doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel like it's going to break easily. But it's a little bit of an extra step, and it takes you just a little bit longer to do it. But I feel like it's worth it because like now it's off.
Yeah.
Then you just gotta sit there and line it all up.
It just takes some finagling.
Yeah, like so in a hurry, unless you're doing this every single day, in a hurry it takes a couple extra seconds to line it up and then hold it just right, slide it in there. But once it's on there, it ain't coming off.
No.
Like you cannot accidentally
pull that off,
unless you really screwed something up.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good thing. All right, so to caveat all of that, back to the modularity, you don't necessarily have to run the quick detach here on the sides.
Take the placard off.
So if we rip Sparky's placard off, if you pull these down, it does have a kind of attachment system here that locks in, very similar to how the back does. So that's what keeps the back from actually pulling out of it.
That's so you can tighten up that reinforced cummerbund.
Yeah. So, there are other options to it. You
can totally just take these guys off because it's just Velcroed on there.
Yeah. Hook and looped, Sparky.
Hook and loop, whatever.
So it is a modular system, as we've iterated over and over and over again. So it does have a lot of,
and you can also run your IFAC right here and admin pouch beneath here, which is nice. Or if you want to put your tourniquet.
Shove you a cat tourniquet down there.
That's right.
So let's flip you around, Sparky,
Hey, whoa. Oh, wait, here's the lube.
So this is another awesome part of the plate carrier, and kind of one of the main reasons you would upgrade to this larger system. Like we had mentioned in the past, it's used for weight distribution, for carrying lots of ammunition or equipment or stuff like that. It's these awesome different back panels that attach to the back plate that has your body armor in. So it has YKK zippers, which are really nice, and they're dual zippers. So that way, if you didn't want to run this whole panel like we see here, HRT makes like different sections. So you could run a different section here on the top, and you could run a different section here on the bottom. It allows for a lot of versatility in, loading out your plate carrier, which is really nice because, I don't know if Sparky has anything.
Got my jacket back.
He's got his HRT windbreaker back there.
Just
wow.
in case. I always carry protection.
Yeah.
You always need a rain jacket.
But having shut up. Having the ability to customize the back panels and loadouts are really nice. They come with really awesome zippers. They're really durable, and they're made of pretty high quality stuff. So another awesome part of the plate carrier is coming back up from the back panels are the kind of I'm lost for words here. Shoulder straps. Thank you, Hunter. Shoulder straps on them, which kind of are part of the chassis system. They have a lot of, breathing material on the inside that kind of, allows for airflow. The HRT also has, air panels, which allow for a little bit of venting to come through. So when you're running around all day on the flat range, it allows you to have a little bit of
just kind of pulls
airflow.
The plates off your body a little bit.
Yeah.
And going back to the backpack, I feel like I like that feature, but it's a feature that to me, it's also not a huge selling point for me to buy, because if I put something back there, I can't reach it. So like I have to have someone with me.
Yeah.
Like if you were to load this thing out for end of the world scenario and you put a bunch of stuff back there, you can't get to it. You have to have a buddy. So like
to get to it quickly.
Yeah. So but like in this situation, keeping like a jacket or a hydration pack back there, then that would be pretty slick. But to access that, I'd have to take the plate carrier off to get to it.
Right.
So it's just something.
And maybe stuff like that, like what you put on your carrier is.
That's like a specific loadout.
Yeah.
Situation.
Exactly.
But something to consider.
Yeah. Otherwise, just run a backpack and just sling it across. And then you're probably not getting as good of weight distribution as you would.
Well, yeah.
So maybe what you put on the back of the carrier is more of like, stuff that you don't have to quick access.
Sure.
And, just stuff you have to maintain, but don't have to quickly access it.
Yeah, because it's just something to consider
but
loading it out.
It's that way with all back mounted, backpacks for carriers.
Yeah,
Any carrier would have that issue.
Yeah, anything you put on your back, you cannot get to. So it's just something to keep in mind when you're picking them out and loading them out.
So maybe the back panels aren't a thing for you. Maybe you should buy a backpack.
Yeah, but it'd be a thing like for me and you, if we were both running it and we have our carriers set up the same way and we're in that scenario, I know, oh, he has this there.
Can quick access.
I can access it for me or for you and vice versa.
Yeah.
So just something to think about.
Buddy system.
Yep.
So overall, Coleman, we've kind of went over all the features of the LBAC, all the stuff that make it great, and then kind of, in our opinions, a little bit of cons to it, like the quick detach, which are optional.
Yeah, you can totally change that.
Yeah. So what is your overall opinion? Do you think it's worth the money? And then, is there any other closing thoughts on it?
Overall, I really like it. It is probably the nicest plate carrier I've ever had the option to use. And like I've bought several, but this has quickly become my favorite simply because of how well it does distribute the load of carrying ammunition and all that kind of good stuff. Like it does, like when I wear this all day, I don't feel it on my shoulders as bad. Like as all the weight's kind of distributed from the shoulders to my chest and my back, like it kind of evenly distributes everything, which I really like. I like how customizable and the modularity of everything, because it takes a few minutes to set this one up and get everything adjusted, but once you do, it's so comfortable. And just like I said, I just really like all the options. And it's a buy once, cry once thing. Sure, it's a lot of money, but now I can just, instead of having multiple plate carriers, I can just have multiple placards.
Yeah.
If I'm going between
shotgun or like this more of an admin setup, or if you want to run it a little bit more slick, like this. I agree. HRT has some awesome stuff in terms of that.
Yeah.
Now, take it back home a little bit. Is this for your everyday guy?
I would say no. I would say for the guy that just is getting his feet wet, and or not even getting his feet wet, but getting into plate carriers and is looking to buy one. I would recommend it, don't get me wrong, but I'd be like, you know what? If you don't have a whole lot of money to play with,
I would go with her like this one or like the A-Track. This is meant for duty, hard use, like is mentioned, carrying a lot of weight. A lot of people don't load out their carriers super heavy with breaching equipment and tons of extra ammunition.
Because I can see like a cop loving this setup.
Yeah.
Like just being able to, have all these options to put all his gear in this. But for me, yeah, it's nice, but like it's stuff I don't absolutely have to have for what I'm doing. If you bought it, it's not a bad option. It's a fantastic option, but it's just a lot of money, and you could probably get something that more fits your application for a little bit less.
Yeah.
Like what you were saying.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, awesome setup. I don't know if it's necessarily for the everyday Joe, but if you have the money to spend on it, you will not be disappointed.
Exactly.
And I think if you're looking for something a little bit more on the budget side, the A-Track or the rack carrier is just a really good option because it maintains that high quality of nylon, the stitching, the little details that HRT Tactical puts into them, like cord management or just having really nice placard systems. I love the Maximus placard. It's one of my favorite placards out there, and I think it offers a lot of versatility for people that want to run mags, admin pouches, side stuff. So I think HRT makes some awesome stuff. I think they did a great job with the LBAC, but I just don't know if it's for the everyday guy. It's definitely meant for the law enforcement or the people that are using this
for the job.
So we really appreciate HRT for sending this out for us to review. We had a blast with it. And
that's the best part.
What's the best part, Hunter?
You can find both of those complete loadouts.
Oh, that's right. You could find
the other shameless plug.
The other shameless plug. You can find both of these loadouts over at basementoperator.com if you want to check them out and see the different prices on them and kind of get an idea when you're shopping for plate carriers. So big thank you to HRT. Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys on the next one. As always, take someone outdoors. Peace.
Bye.